I bet you didn't know this, but there are secrets that autism parents didn't tell you about. There are secrets. There are secrets that autism parents don't talk to anybody about. There are secrets that autism parents keep to themselves. But today we're going to talk about them because it's necessary. It's not so much necessary for them to talk about, but it's necessary for somebody to talk about it on their behalf. But also to let these parents know that we know what they are and they're going to be exposed. They, not the parents, but the secrets are going to be exposed today. So let's talk about them, okay? It's necessary for these secrets to be exposed because these parents need these secrets to be exposed so that they can be addressed, okay? So let's talk about them. The first secret, I'm thirsty today, y'all, I'm sorry. The first secret is that autism parents are tired because you're doing it all and then some. You're doing too much. Parenting a child with autism often means being the therapist, the teacher, the advocate, and the emotional support system all at once. Listen, doing all the things. Okay? Add work to this, other children, the spouse, the household responsibilities, the chores, and it's a nonstop cycle that leaves you physically, psychologically, and emotionally drained. Does that sound familiar? This kind of burnout isn't just exhaustion. It's not. It's grief, it's guilt, and survival all rolled into one. I know I'm telling the truth. And you don't even know how to begin to crawl yourself out of that pit. As a parent, especially as a parent of a child with autism, you feel selfish taking time for yourself. You feel guilty complaining about it because you just want to be the best parent you can be for your child and you want to put your child first. So doing anything for yourself to recover from any of this feels like guilt and it feels selfish. But you're worn out. And it's a secret that you don't want to talk about. Secret number 2. The world isn't built for your child, and that keeps you up at night. The fear of what will happen to your child when you are no longer around is real. That's all you think about. And it doesn't matter what age your child is. Your child could be 3, your child could be 13, your child could be 30. And that's all you think about. Every child, every adult, every parent that has a child with a disability, not just autism, thinks about this. What's going to happen to my child when I'm not here to take care of them? Will they be safe? Will anyone understand them? I think about this whenever my son leaves. You saw the video of whenever he was walking out the door by himself to go to the bus stop? Hassan catches 2 buses and 2 trains that go downtown Atlanta. You think I'm okay with that in my spirit? You think I'm at peace with that? He leaves the door, and I think about all the. Will he? If he gets stopped by the police, they don't know he has autism. If they ask him some questions that he can't answer, then what? You don't think all the what ifs happen in my head? What if he's in the wrong place at the wrong time? What if they accuse him of being someone he's not? What if he's misunderstood? What if he can't explain himself if if he's caught in a crossfire in a situation? The world isn't built for my son. Will he have a meaningful life? These questions haunt you because resources are scarce, systems are broken, and you know that independence isn't a guarantee, even if you do everything right. Every parent with a child that has autism is thinking this in the back of their head, and they're worried about it. Comes with the territory. Secret number three: you feel guilty for wanting a break, but you desperately need one. I touched on this in secret number one. There's this silent pressure that you should be endlessly patient, endlessly strong. Girl, you got this. Girl, you're doing a great job being a parent. You're so amazing. If you show any sign of weakness, then people look at you like, "Oh, no, you got this, girl. You're great." But needing rest doesn't mean you love your child any less. That's not what it means. Burnout creeps in when you deny your own needs for too long, and it can leave you emotionally numb, which makes everything harder. That phrase that phrase that says you can't pour from an empty cup, that's real. If I am full at the beginning of the day, and I pour a little bit to this person, and I pour a little bit to that person, and I pour a little bit to this, and then this person over here takes a sip. And at the end of the day, I'm empty. Where does that leave me? I can't wait till Mother's Day to get filled back up. One day a year, and on my birthday. And in my case, my birthday is Mother's Day weekend. That's one weekend out of the year. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Because if you're like most moms, you're also doing the cooking and the cleaning, and you got a job, and you're running around, and if you don't wash the socks and the underwear, it's not going to get done. And even if you have help with chores, because you saw my video, Hassan helps with chores. But if I don't make sure that, like Alexa does a good job with helping out, with reminders with the chores. And Hassan is, he has his schedule. I don't have to remind Hassan. I don't. But don't think that I don't know his schedule and I'm like, "Hey, did you get your chores done?" Cuz I'm a mom. That's, you know what I mean? Sir, if you don't do the vacuuming, it's got to get done. But that doesn't mean that I don't have my own list of things that I need to get done in the house. You know? I still have to keep track. I took him to the dentist on Monday. You know what I mean? Just for a checkup. But last week I had to take him to the orthodontist. He got his braces taken off 6 months ago, and this was his last checkup. Mom still have that we still got to make sure all the things get done. All the things. He needs a haircut. Like, you know what I mean? I got to make sure my cup is full though. Or all of this stuff gets shut down. All of it gets the whole. Everybody knows. Whenever I say Tomorrow I'll be back. I'm going to wherever, the spa, whatever. My cup needs to be filled up. For a lot of moms, they feel guilty for wanting a break. I got over that a long time ago. Like 20 years ago, I got over that. I was like, listen, listen, I'll give you a secret for me. I think it was easy for me to get over it when my kids were little because I was the only girl in the house. I think for me that's what it was. I was outnumbered by all the boys. I had a husband and there were two boys and there was a dog. The dog was a girl, but she's still, you know what I mean? And because I was the one caring for everybody, I was like, okay, I need a break, y'all. Y'all are on your own this weekend. And I didn't wait for Mother's Day weekend to do that. I would do that like every other month or something. And I would just I'm off. I was I was like because I would get sick every once in a while. And I knew it was because I was overwhelmed. I knew it was. I would when I said I would get sick, I mean I would be in the hospital and my body would shut down. So I got to the point where I was like, I can't continue to allow my body to shut down. So to keep that from happening, I just got to the point where every 6 to 8 weeks I would just take a break and I have to I have to replenish. I have to refill my cup, right? The fourth secret. You're not just raising a child. You're building a future with no blueprint. A blueprint, it's a guide for making something, a design or pattern that can be followed. Do you remember if you were born in the 70s like me, you may remember our moms that used to make our clothes. I don't know about you. My mom used to make our clothes. There were four of us. And she used to go to the fabric store and she used to get some fabric and she used to buy a pattern. Remember that? And she used to lay the fabric out and she used to lay the pattern on top and she used to pin it to the fabric and she used to cut out the pattern, cut the fabric out around the pattern so that she could make our clothing. And the thing is that most parents were winging it anyway. It's like, well, I mean, my parents, people will raise their kids based on the way their parents raised them, right? That's the model. That's all I know. You know what I mean? But when you're raising a child with autism, you're out here like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do with this kid. I don't know what how do I navigate. That's why you need help from the school because you're like, y'all, you are the professionals. You are the ones with the degrees and you know what I mean? You guys work with special needs kids. Help me, right? You don't have a blueprint. You don't have a pattern. You don't have an autism GPS. You're building. Here you are expected to build this child's future, and with a daycare director, I used to be a daycare director. So with this background, I used to tell people, I'm like, you're not raising children. You're raising adults. But when you have a child with autism, you don't know how to shape this child into an adult. Not necessarily, not without a pattern or a blueprint. Unlike typical parenting, there's no clear roadmap when your child has autism. You're creating a path as you go while trying to stay optimistic, prepared, and calm, even when the future feels uncertain. How? How? And you're pouring from an empty cup? How? Of course, life feels chaotic. Of course, you're all over the place. Of course, you have no schedule. Everything you don't know any. Of course, you have no answers. Of course, you can't sleep at night. Of course, you're uncertain. Of course. And that pressure builds quietly over time until it becomes a constant weight you have to carry. Now, parenting feels like a burden, and that's where the guilt comes in. Because then you look at your child with resentment and you try to pretend like it's not resentment. You resent having this child with autism, and you don't want to admit it. That wasn't my story, but I've heard it from other parents. I'm trying to get parents to the point where this pressure doesn't build. It builds. And when they get to this point, they're like, I can't do this anymore. I told you that a couple weeks ago, one of the autism moms in one of our groups committed suicide. It's because of this. I told you that there are parents with children with autism who want to give their children up for adoption. It's because of this. My goal is to get parents to a place where this doesn't happen. This wasn't my story. I enjoyed my kids, even the one with autism, and I loved being a parent, and I still do. And I want to show parents how to do this. I want to show them how to get their children to a place and to parent in such a way where they have a blueprint, where the pressure doesn't build, where you're not so worn out and tired and you never feel guilty. Does that make sense? And I'll teach you from a parent's perspective and not from a school or therapist perspective. My son's going to be 26 in 2 months. I've done it already, and it works. So, next week, oh, today's Wednesday. Next Monday, the root of autism. I can't wait because I'm going to be talking about how to address the issues behind the behaviors of autism, and it will help your child. It'll make parenting easier. Okay. Yeah, those of you who are struggling, we see you. It's not a secret anymore. Okay? Keep watching my videos. Stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.